approval of the agenda. If you'll look over that and see if you have any. We have a motion to approve the agenda. We have a second. Any question or comments? Wait a minute.
We make a motion in second.
I second it.
All right, why don't you make the motion? He's not on the committee.
I'm sorry,
That's all right.
I move that.
You make a motion.
I move that we accept it. I move.
Nancy seconds. All right. Those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed indicate by saying nay. I believe we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on this committee, and 4 are not here, and 1 is not here. So there are only 4 of us gonna be voting, guys and girls. Okay, item number 4, salary and wages.
Okay, just to go, what we're trying to do here is get the assumptions that we need to put the budget together to bring to you next month. And so, normally at this time of year, the jury makes a decision, or the finance committee makes a recommendation as to, across the board salaries and wages. Traditionally and consistently for the last several years, probably 10 years,
12.
anyway or more, the jury is given a 2.5% across the board increase. I'll be glad to answer any questions anybody has or any concerns about any particular funds that may be involved.
All right, do we hear a motion or discussion?
I want to ask a question about the salaries and wages. I know that across the board, everyone gets the 2.5%, but we still need to go back and consider all the solid waste people, the ones that are picking up the trash at the dumpsters, to try to give them, to readjust their salaries because they are really working hard.
Let's talk about that. Do we set those, or is that a state?
No, it's actually, it's a pay and classification plan that was adopted by the jury, and there's different levels, range and classifications. And each job description starts at a certain range of classification, and then you go horizontally across in 2.5% increments, which is why we use 2.5%. That was set by the jury.
So you're saying, just say if you got 5 classifications, and each one have a different pay scale, am I correct?
Correct.
So when you get to 2.5%, each one is getting the 2.5 based on their pay scale.
Correct.
It's just like the highway department for equipment operator.
Right. Depending on what their job title is, they go in at a certain range. Okay, it can be like R1 to R30, I think it is, and then it goes across in 2.5% increments, horizontally across in that range. And so generally when you start at the A column, so it would be R1A. And then after 6 months, you get a 5% increase, and then you go to B, because there's an A, an A1, a B, a B1, 2.5%. Did I confuse you?
There are raises within each job classification.
Yes,
Other than,
Cost of living.
cost of living.
yes. 6 months is kind of a probationary period. Usually employees are given a 5% raise after that if they complete that satisfactorily. Also, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25, 27, 30, you get 5%.
So a person that they can be celebrating their 10th year,
Mm-hmm.
They get 7.5.
If they get the cost of living.
Yeah, if we approve.
if they're gonna get the 5% anyway,
At their anniversary day,
then the 2.5 if we give it.
yes.
Okay,
Is there a cap?
No.
No.
Not yet.
no cap.
But the other way, you can actually change jobs, get promoted or get a.
That's generally the way that you move up.
Is you gain
There's one,
experience.
if there's one available.
Teresa, question?
I understand what you're saying,
But is that written in stone? Can't we be creative and do something for those employees who picked up the workload when Ruston and Grambling went to a one-day-a-week service? I mean, any rule has some exceptions, and I think we need to do something.
May I, with your permission, may I ask a question? Are we working longer hours now than we did a few years ago?
We're working the same, hours haven't changed.
Okay. So when a person comes to work, they work for that day, but then when the time comes, they go home. They don't work
They get a lot-
overtime.
The solid waste department gets a lot of overtime.
Yeah, we get more overtime, but our schedule always hasn't changed. But we do-
So when they get overtime and they work more, how much do they get paid?
It's time and a half.
Time and a half. So if they work more than a 40-hour week, they get time and a half for those extra hours.
Right.
So they're working extra, they're not getting a salary adjustment.
They're getting time and a half.
Time and a half.
Yeah.
They are getting an adjustment. As an example, if they make $15, let's say they make $10 an hour, then they're gonna get paid $15 an hour. Or if they make $20 an hour, they get $30 an hour.
But they're working
How do you-
harder. Okay, what, reason why, the solid waste people, even when it's raining, they are out picking up the trash. The highway department, if it's raining, they're gonna be sitting down, and they still get paid.
I guess it depends on what they're doing, I don't know.
No, well, I'm just saying, if it's really bad outside, the highway department, they don't really get out there and do work with the solid waste, they steady from work. Rain, shine, sleet, snow.
All right.
From a morale standpoint, if you start picking and choosing which
Well, they
departments are
can,
gonna
they
get.
can move to a different, they can move to their department.
Have to move to different
Well,
classification.
we're kinda on, if I can interject, we're kinda on two tracks here. This has come up before, and the way my employer deals with this, every year, all the companies that do what I do, they do a salary survey of similar jobs across the industry to see what the general pay is for a certain job. Maybe that's something we need to look into, what does solid waste workers make in us?
Across the state.
And, you know, similar jobs, and maybe we need to make some adjustments in our.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna look at it, you need to look at.
Every category.
Not just one.
Every
But
category.
we might need to look at the whole thing. We might be off, you know, and I
We-
would support that.
But just a moment. Well,
Next question, entry level at the highway department pays what per hour? $10?
It's well above minimum wage.
I thought it was 11 something.
$9.
Well, minimum wage is what, $7.75?
Yeah.
725.
They start in at like $9.30.
$9.
That's for a laborer.
But entry level at the solid waste department pays what?
It's the same, for labor, it's the same, our truck drivers, our operators, all different, depending on what.
And when you, and one thing that we're not taking into account, we do everything we can to give those guys opportunities to move up, to become truck drivers. We pay for their CDLs. There are opportunities for folks that start in the solid waste department who get their CDL to transfer over somewhere else. We've been one of the biggest training grounds for people with CDLs in the parish. We get a lot of folks that start here, we pay to get them a CDL, the next thing you know, they jump ship to go work somewhere else.
I just don't want us to forget too, that with that entry level pay, there are very few jobs with that entry level pay that have benefits. And that is with full benefits.
And we talked about this, you know, the benefit package is a $5 plus.
Everybody gets the benefits, Walter. Everybody gets.
Not every job has.
But not every job out there in the real world.
No, I'm talking about
benefit
Lincoln
package
Parish.
like this. What?
If they start at 9 something an hour, then they get a $5 an hour benefit package. That's pretty good pay.
Well, we're gonna run out of time, you know.
Okay, all right.
Look, Let me suggest that we do work on the subject.
Could we request that?
But I agree that we need to, Sharon, I agree, we need to work on this, and it's probably long past due to make a salary and a pay survey of our job classifications. But we're gonna run out of time, we're not gonna get our finance committee stuff.
All right, Chair will entertain a motion as it applies to salaries and wages, an increase for this next year from a committee person.
I'll make that motion that the salary go 2.5%.
2.5%. All right, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Nancy. Any further discussion? Those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye, committee members.
Aye.
Those opposed to the motion indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. All right, we're gonna move into budget request for 2020. Let me say that this group of 12 jurors has worked very well together over the last number of years. Some of us may not be back. So it's been a good run, and I want to express appreciation to your input and your participation and your teamwork. Under budget request for 2020, Ms. Holly?
There's, you'll notice on this sheet, it's different than the one from last month, in that Four Paws was moved from the paid from other than general fund section to the paid from the general fund section. After the meeting, I had a question about something on Four Paws, and as I went back and looked at our funding history, I discovered that in 2016, that funding was shifted from the hospital proceeds fund to the general fund, so it's been coming out of the general fund since 2016. And that change has not been reflected on this particular spreadsheet.
All right. How do we move it back?
There is enough revenue coverage in hospital proceeds to cover the Four Paws contribution, and all we need is instructions from the finance committee that you would like it moved to the hospital proceeds, and we can do that,
Could we do that at this time?
yes.
We'll entertain a motion to move the Four Paws funding from general fund to the hospital fund. What do you think about that?
I wanna get into discussion, so,
Well, keep motion and then we'll have something to discuss.
All right, anybody, do you wanna leave it in general fund? Those of you who are on the committee?
What is the, why? I mean,
If you move it back, well, the general fund is where we need to make some adjustments.
Some trimming, some costs.
You know, to take it and put it back where it was, you know, is gonna help to retain.
Help us meet our budget at the year end.
So it would help that situation to move it back to the hospital proceeds.
I feel that we should move it back.
All right, we have a motion.
I make that in form of a motion.
All right, do we have a second? I'll second it.
now we.
Discussion.
Okay, my question is, in 16, we had it under the category at the bottom of the sheet.
Correct.
17, we had it at the bottom of the sheet.
Correct,
18, we had it at the bottom of the sheet.
correct,
But the money actually coming out of the general,
correct.
well, when did we do the amendments? So we haven't had any amendments,
We did.
16, 17, 18 to adjust that money?
The person sitting in that corner made the change. Whoever was sitting in that corner office made the change.
The
But-
two previous treasurers.
Well, what I'm saying is, when we do the budget proposal, and then for the years over, we do the budget adjustments, am I right? Well, can't you see that money coming out of general?
I believe it ended up budgeted in the general fund, so there wasn't a variance in it, even though on this spreadsheet it had been talked about coming out of the hospital proceeds. But I wasn't here in 16, so
I
I can't,
understand.
yeah, I know, so I can't tell you exactly what happened. I just know when I looked at it,
Arbitrary
the money was
decision
not
by
coming
somebody.
from where I had told you it was coming from, so I wanted to correct that.
Is there a policy on that?
No.
Well, we're establishing policy tonight.
We need to have written policies.
Yeah,
Well-
we're establishing it tonight, the policy.
So, the motion was to move it out of general, where it been listed. They've been listed, they've been listed at the bottom.
It's been listed for the hospital.
It was
fund.
listed
hospital
correctly,
fund.
but it was
It
taken
had
out of the
been out
wrong
of the
fund.
general. Now we're talking about moving it for real.
And we're making it legitimate.
If we make the move, it's not just a move on this spreadsheet, we actually move it in the budget files and in the general ledger transactions.
But what would be the purpose? What would be the purpose to move it?
The purpose, to free up some dollars in the general fund, because we're going to face red ink before we get to the end of the year
Yeah, we've got $480-some-thousand we need
to overcome. We've got $480,000 to overcome, and we're scratching for nickels and dimes.
So, since one book we did begin with, it's all.
You know, I understand, I've heard everything, but what I don't want to happen, I would like not to see it happen, but open up another can of worms of people coming after us because they think we got more money in that fund.
Yeah.
And see that?
So we're gonna spend all the money in both funds. In both funds, we're gonna spend all that money. We don't have a choice.
But the hospital proceed,
It's limited.
but
We
it's
have
not.
a $10 million fund and we get somewhere in the neighborhood of 1% return, which is approximately $100,000.
But there's nothing in there dedicated. They could do anything with it, it ain't dedicated money.
That's correct.
You know, the only thing the voter said was that you can't spend the principal at the time we saw the
That's
hospital.
correct.
But it's up to us to decide what we do with the proceeds every year.
Each year.
It was
Yeah.
enough money that we paid for those concrete bridges.
Yeah, I know, but we
When
threw
that
those
enough
bridges.
money later.
So you saying we're gonna move, what about the excess, we're gonna move it over to general fund? Because you're on,
That'll free up.
but you're only
For
gonna
the
have.
end of the year, that will free up another $24,000 or $36,000, however you vote, whatever. Or maybe nothing, whatever, however you vote. But what we're trying to do is trim the general fund as we look forward to the end of the year, because we're gonna be 480,000 short.
I understand.
Mr.
Okay,
Chairman,
that's
let me
the
ask-
purpose.
Let me ask this question, I believe he's asking, what else is coming out of the hospital proceeds fund now?
Well,
Right.
keep Lincoln Parish beautiful, North Delta Human Services Authority, and Lincoln Parish Health Unit, all,
We take the corner down there too, though.
No, it's the general fund.
Question is, what else is coming out of the hospital proceeds?
It's
On the
$4,000.
budget to actual report, so take the budget to actual report. It's in your packet. Go to the very last page.
Page 17.
The very last page is the budget to actual. That was under expenditures, it'll show you what's coming out. $30,000 was budgeted for ambulance, transfer to the health unit, the mental health center grant.
The mental health unit is the,
North Delta.
that's North Delta, right?
Yes.
And the ambulance get 30.
Yes. The person time they do.
And any excess is usually swept into, the bridge fund.
You don't need to put it in the bridge, yeah.
Well, since it's not dedicated, it doesn't matter.
yeah. All right. Guys, time is gonna catch us very shortly, and we have a long meeting to go. I'm gonna call for the vote on this motion. Any other discussion? Those in favor of the motion of moving this back to the hospital proceed money indicate by saying aye.
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 Nay.
Okay,
No.
okay.
Did I vote?
Tie vote.
You have to break the time.
No,
No, he's not on the committee.
he's not on the committee. Tie vote loses.
Loses.
It loses.
All right, let's go into
It's stay where it's at.
item number number 5. Budget request for 2020, general fund. We'll take these one at a time. Lincoln Total Community Action. Motion from the committee.
I move that we budget this time $4,000.
$4,000. We have a motion on the floor. Second? Second? Any discussion? This is what we've been doing, and last year we made an exception because of their problems. Now, this does not mean we won't change that for next year if we're in better shape or whatever. So, all right, those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And you, aye, okay, great. Any opposed?
Nay.
No, we have one no, all right. That is approved. We move into Bayou Lake Darbone Commission. Motion,
I make the motion.
A second.
1,800.
Yes.
Okay, we have a second. Those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed indicate by saying nay. Ayes have it, motion's passed. Sparta Groundwater Commission.
I make a motion that we fund 2,500.
2,500. Second.
Second.
Those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed indicate by saying nay. Motion passes. Department of Veterans Affairs. What is your
I make a motion that we fund 5,000.
5,000? Second?
Second.
Those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Those opposed indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it, that motion is approved. Council on Aging.
I move that we give the same amount we did last year,
Like we
5,000.
did last year, 5,000. Motion, second. Those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed indicate by saying nay. Council on Aging is approved. IT Department. Motion for 20,000.
I make the motion.
Second. Second. Those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Any opposed indicate by saying nay. Motion is approved. Lincoln Parish GIS, it's a 25,000 request.
I make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed to the motion indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it, that is approved. Juvenile Assistance Program,
There's none.
motion is for 0.
Yes.
All right, we have a second.
Just keep going.
No action, all right. Third, Judicial District Court.
I make a motion that we fund it at 137.7.
7, all right. Second,
Second.
all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Any nays? Okay, ayes have it. Louisiana Cooperative Extension Service, there's a $20,000 request. We have a motion?
Second.
Second. Those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Any
Aye.
opposed indicate by saying nay. We move, ayes have it, is approved. We move into Clerk of Court, request 22-8. That's for rent.
I move.
We have a motion.
2,800 for 2020.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Any opposed indicate by saying nay.
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right, we move down into Lincoln Parish Registrar of Voters. The request is 25,321.
I must motion that we fund 25,321 for 2020.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed indicate by saying nay. That is approved. We now have a request from the Lincoln Parish Coroner's Office of $60,483. Have a motion? We have a
Second.
motion?
Second.
We have a second? Those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed indicate by saying nay. That is approved. Item number, Lincoln Parish District Attorney, 244660. Have a motion? Is there a second? Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed indicate by saying nay. Ayes have it. Trailblazer,
I make the motion that we fund 2,250.
2,250. Second?
Second.
We have a second. Those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
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 Those opposed to the motion indicate by saying nay. That is approved. For pause, keeping in mind that we are doing an in-kind contribution of approximately $15,000-15,000.
I make the motion that we, fund trail,
For pause. Mhm.
$24,000.
Motion is made.
Second.
Second. Those in favor of that motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed indicate by saying nay. Ayes have it. That motion is approved. We move down to keep Lincoln Parish beautiful. The request is $7,500. Motion is made. Second.
Second.
All right, we have a second. Those members in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed indicate by saying nay. That is approved. North Delta Human Services Authority, $1,530 request.
I make that motion.
Motion, second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. If you're in favor of that, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
If you're opposed, indicate by saying nay. Ayes have it. Lincoln Parish Health Unit, the request is $18,500.
I make that motion.
Motion, second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it, that motion is approved. Do we have any other? Sure,
Can I go back to?
you can go back to anything
Yes,
you want to.
for Lincoln Community Action.
Yes,
4,000, I would like to change mine to, net. My vote's net.
nay, okay.
That's 2-2.
Not here, I'm not sure of the price yet.
Yeah, I know.
If you change your vote, it goes to zero.
Okay, if I change it, goes to zero
Yeah,
right now.
because you want to be approved.
Okay, all right, I think that's
All
what you
right,
said.
we'll stay where we are. All right, any question?
If you change your vote and it's a tie,
Yeah, it won't be approved.
you saying zero approved?
Well, there will be no approval because there won't be any.
But I thought if I could catch it before the end of the committee, that it could go in there and be changed.
But it still wouldn't be approved.
Well, voted.
So we changed it already.
No, it's staying.
All right, is there any other business that you wish to discuss, anyone, anywhere? Bill,
I've been at my arm all the time.
I am so sorry, I did not look back there.
I would like to know, see, you're not telling me whether these funds that you are approving, if that is, the requested funds, if that is up or down
Okay,
from last year.
may I clarify that for you?
Yes?
Okay. Last year, under Lincoln Total Community Action, year before last, we gave them 4,000. Last year, because of the fire, we went to 50. At that point in time, we said this is a one-time contribution. We went back to the original 4,000 this year. No other item was changed until we got down to, we got down to Trailblazer. They requested 2,500. We only gave them 2,250, which is what we did last year. Then Four Paws requested 36,000. We only honored $24,000 request. But in addition to that, before you got here, we agreed to spend $14,000 or $15,000 out there to help them with some improvements.
I was here for that.
Okay, oh, okay, all right, I didn't know you.
I guess my point is, there are some you're leaving at the rate you funded last year, and others you are cutting back on what they're getting this year.
All right, let me tell you what that is. Lincoln Total Community Action, and the reason was, last year was a one-time shot. Then we get down to Third Judicial District Court. We gave them $135,000. Last year, they requested $137,700. By law, we are required to give them what they requested. Then we go to, Registrar of Voters. Last year was $24,341. They requested, because it's a presidential election year, they requested an increase of $980, or $25,321, which we approved. Then, those are the only changes.
Is there a particular reason why you can't give Lincoln Total, what they asked for versus, the $4,000 that you're giving?
The only reason is we're $480,000 short of making budget this year. And that's the same reason we did not fund Four Paws at $36,000. We cut them to $24,000.
But you're giving them the in-kind in the.
In addition to, that's correct.
Right, so they are still coming out.
Understand this, Lincoln Total Community Action is not one of our required areas. That's a school, and we don't normally support schools. Our funding here is not for that purpose.
Mr. Chairman,
I'll be happy to call you after.
Mr. Smith, you might have to continue this after the meeting, but our security meeting is late.
I will continue with
Can you adjourn the meeting, Mr. Chairman?
Make the motion.
Yes.